Welcome to your full body workout, volume number 9. I'm Coach Jess, and today is all about challenging your body. Let's jump right into it with our warm up. As you know, I have the game plan on the floor. That way we can stay on track. We're going to start with our first exercise, which is a squat jack. Everything you need to know about how to perform a squat jack. This movement is similar to a jumping jack with a squat mixed in. So this is what you want to do. Spread your feet to a squat position so your feet are hip distance. You want to lower your body into the squat with your arms coming up like a jumping jack. So we're up with our arms, down with our hips, and then we come up, bringing our hands by our side. And then we switch to the opposite side. And that's everything you need to know about a squat jack. Now let's go into this movement. We're looking for 30 seconds. And break. Let's go into our second exercise or our second warm-up movement, which is pull aparts. This exercise is similar to a reverse fly where you're working your back. And we're going to perform this today for our warm-up. This is going to focus on the upper shoulders or your shoulders and your upper back. Everything you need to know about how to do pull aparts. You want to stand with your feet shoulder distance. Bring your hands out and have your palms facing each other. From there, pretend like you have a band in between or in your hands, and you want to break that band. Pull apart. Bring your arms and your fists back together and repeat this movement. We're looking for 30 seconds. And break. Going into our last stretch, we have external rotation. External rotation is where you externally rotate your arms or your forearms out. So this is going to warm up the muscles of the shoulders for our upper body movements for today's workout. So what you need to do first is stand up nice and tall. Everything you need to know about how to do an external rotation. Start with your feet shoulder distance, elbows glued by your side. You want from your shoulder to your wrist to be at 90 degrees. Once you get your upper body set, you're bringing your arms out, but do not remove your elbows from your side. So you don't want to be like this, like you're doing a dance. You want to keep your elbows close by your side and almost like thumb in a rod. So you're bringing your thumbs out and movement, your arms back in. And that's everything you need to know about an external rotation. Let's keep this exercise going for 30 seconds. And break. Now, if you see my eyes looking down, we do have our timer. I want to make sure we stay on track today. So let's get ready to go back to the top of this warm up, starting with our squat jacks. We're looking for 30 seconds. and break. Going into our pull aparts. And break. Last exercise we have is our external rotation. So remember, your elbows are glued by your side. 30 seconds. And break. So let's get ready to jump into our workout. Our workout today has 9 different exercises broken down into 3 circuits. We have circuit number 1. Our first exercise is a jump rope, or you're going to pretend like you're jumping rope. So for this one, what I want you to focus on doing is picking up your heels as if you're about to run or jog. So our heels are coming up and down with this movement. Everything you need to know about performing a jump rope is all about the jump. So you want to make sure that your feet are leaving the floor. I see people doing a jump rope, and their feet don't leave the floor, and they wonder why the rope never is able to go around. So you want to make sure you're pretending like you're jumping over a step or a box. We have that rope coming around, and we're moving our upper body as if we have an actual rope. And this is everything you need to know about a jump rope. Let's get this going for 30 seconds, starting in 5 seconds. And break. So jump ropes are great for getting the upper body warmed up and also the legs and the ankles. You ready for your second exercise? Second exercise, we have our lateral lunges. We're going to increase our time for this movement to 45 seconds. So with a lateral lunge, you will be having your feet in a straddle position. Everything you need to know about how to do a lateral lunge. You want to put your feet in a straddle position. Focus on shifting your body to one side and putting pressure on your hips or your butt muscle. So we're pushing back, aiming our hips to the wall, bringing our fingers or our palms to the floor, and then we're switching on the opposite side. So notice as I lean to the right, my left hand, opposite hand comes to the floor. I want to focus on hinging and pushing the hips to that wall, getting the thigh almost parallel to the floor. Chin and chest up, and then switch. We're looking for 45 seconds, starting in 3, 2, and go. and break. So if you felt the muscles of the hips, the thighs, and the inner thighs, you know you're doing your exercise correct. And we have another round of this to perfect our movement. So let's go into our second exercise. Our second exercise we have is around the world. This movement is going to work our shoulders. Everything you need to know about how to do an around the world targeting your shoulders or your deltoids. You want to start with your feet together. Shoulder distance. With your dumbbells in your hand, make sure you have light weights anytime you do any new movement. Palms are open. We want to have a slight bend at our elbow. So you don't want to lock your arms out straight like a cheerleader. You want to have a slight bend there. We're coming up. So think about washing the window. We're washing the window, up, 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 boom. The weights meet, but they don't clash. And then we come back down. And we come back up again. With this position, we are making sure that we're squeezing and tucking our hips under and also bracing our core like we always teach in our classes to support your movement and protect your back. So that's everything you need to know about around the world. Now you're ready to get started with this movement. Go ahead and grab your weights. We're looking for 45 seconds starting now. And break. The muscles targeted in that exercise were your shoulders. So you should have felt your shoulders on fire on that exercise. It's such a simple movement, but it packs a punch. Now let's go into our next exercise, which is going into our next round. You're gonna rest for 15 to 30 seconds, and then you're gonna come back and join me. So get a sip of water and stretch out. And here we go. Let's go into our second round. I want you to focus on digging deeper and improving your form as we get used to these exercises, okay? So let's get started. We're gonna start first with our jump rope. Remember, we're bringing our heels up on this one. This is your round where I give you your pro tips. 45 seconds, starting in 5. Your pro tip when doing a jump rope. Jump rope is a great exercise for cardio and building your endurance. But did you know it also fires up the muscles of the calves? And it's a low impact movement if you do it correctly. So to turn this exercise into a low impact movement, focus on taking your time with the jump. So as you bring the rope around, I want you to just step through and then repeat that movement stepping through. If you have weak knees or sensitive knees and the jumping aggravates it, you can dial down your movement to that, or you can pretend as if you're doing the jump rope. We want to make sure that we're engaged in our core too. Our core plays a role in almost every single exercise. It's like our center focus. So we want to make sure as we're jumping, we're not slouching. We have our posture up tall and we're bracing our core. We're looking for 10 more seconds. And break. Let's go into our second exercise, which is lateral lunges. This is similar to our weight shifting movement where we're shifting our hips side to side. Sometimes we warm up with this exercise as well. So let's get ready to go into this movement. We want to have our feet spread and we're shifting our body weight. We're going to start in 5 seconds. Your pro tip when performing your lateral lunges, I want you to think about body weight transfer. When you're doing a lateral lunge, where are you transferring your body weight? You should be transferring your body weight to that bent leg, which is either your left or your right leg, of course, and you're gonna make sure you bend at the knee, transfer your body weight to your heel and to your hip. As you're pushing into that hip, you wanna push away to shift your body weight to the opposite leg. So if you really connect with these movements, you're able to feel the movement more. The worst thing is doing an exercise and you don't feel the burn. So connect, and I promise you, it'll really make a change in your workout. We're looking for 5 seconds. And break. Going into our next exercise, we have around the whirls. So quickly grab your weights. We're starting in 5 seconds. Your pro tip when performing an around the world for shoulders, control, control, and I can't say it enough, control. Make sure you're controlling your movements. If you're here and you notice how my chest lowers, right? And I'm using my body to do the movement. Your weight might be too heavy, and 2, you might not understand that you need to control the exercise. So you want to have a solid foundation. Feet shoulder distance, a slight bend, embrace your core. But as you come up, you don't want to knock your weights together. You want to control them at top right before they meet. And then as you come down, get a better burn or increase your burn intensity by coming just a quarter of the way down. And I promise you, you'll feel the change. So do this now and see if you feel that. It makes a difference, right? So this is your pro tip with around the world. We have 5 seconds. And break. So we just finished circuit number 1. We can check that off our list. Boom, boom, ching. We're gonna go into our second circuit. The second circuit is gonna be ready for us in 30 seconds. So go ahead and maybe turn the music up a little bit more, do a little shuffle, get some water, all that good stuff. And join me back in 30 seconds. And here we go. So circuit number 2, we have power knees. Power knees is a dynamic exercise that works the muscles of the legs and helps you work on power movements. So let's talk about it. Everything you need to know about how to perform a power knee. These exercises are great for challenging your strength. What we're gonna do is have our feet at a split stance. So I'm on my tippy toes on my back leg, and then my front leg, I do have a bend on my knee or at my knee. So I am bending softly. The back leg is straight. I wanna drive that knee up to my chest, tucking my hips underneath me, using my abs. So this is an ab workout and a lower body power move. We're gonna do this for 45 seconds. And that's everything you need to know about a power knee. So let's jump into it. We have 45 seconds of this exercise and we're starting in 5 seconds. If you wanna start with my lead or follow my lead, left leg is in front and go. break, shifting legs, and I feel the thighs. Here we go. And break. My legs are on fire. So let's get ready to go into the next exercise. We have, if you thought the first movement was challenging, this exercise is going to challenge us to a better us. So we have sumo squats with this movement. We're going to be holding a sumo squat and performing calf raises with this exercise. So let's talk about it. Everything you need to know about performing a sumo squat. What you want to start off with is a wide stance, like a sumo wrestler. So we're like this, right? We're going to bring our feet out wide. Notice the position of my toes. They're not straight ahead, they're out to the side. So we're going east and west. From there, I want you to tuck your hips. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see this movement. So instead of here, I'm going to tuck. As I lower into that squat or that sumo squat, I want to keep those hips tucked under, engaging my abs. Ooh, I feel the abs right through here. I'm gonna come up and raise to my toes for a calf raise and come back down. The calf raise is gonna be an added challenge in the exercise. You're welcome to keep your feet flat on the floor. And that's everything you need to know about a sumo squat. So you ready to go into this one? This exercise is gonna challenge your inner thighs. We're gonna start in 10 seconds. And break. Going into our next exercise is our skis. My legs are on fire. Hopefully I'm not by myself on this one. Legs are exhausted, but I love feeling like that because I know that I'm challenging myself. And that's why we join the program, right? To challenge ourselves for results. So our next exercise is skis. So with this movement, you're gonna be tending as if you're doing a lateral lunge again, but you're gonna be moving your arms with this exercise. So I'm gonna walk you through it. Everything you need to know about how to do a ski. With this exercise, you're doing a slight jump or a step to the side. So as my right leg comes out to the side, I'm pretending like I'm doing a curtsy bow, bringing the left leg behind, reaching my palms to the floor, hand comes out. Step out to the opposite side, reach my hands to the floor, hand comes out. Pop, pop. Notice how I jumped to advance and challenge my exercise. And that's everything you need to know about how to do a ski. Now let's perform this exercise for 45 seconds non-stop. We're going to start in 5. break, and catch your breath. 30-second recovery, and let's get ready to go into our second round of this workout. Let's get ready to work. So we have our second round. We're starting back with our power knees. This is your round where I give you your pro tips. Start with your left leg in front and start your movement out. Bring your knees to your chest. Pro tips for doing power knees. Power knees are a great exercise for cardio and endurance, but did you know you can make this beginner level or advanced level with few changes, or simple changes, I should say. So to keep this for people that have sensitive knees, what you're gonna do is keep your feet flat on the floor. As you step back, you're gonna repeat that movement. To advance this one, you're gonna press from your front foot and explode into the air, like so. So this is a great exercise where you can go from beginner level to advanced as you progress. So that's your pro tip. We're looking for 10 more seconds. And break. Let's dive right into our second exercise, sumo squats with calf raises. For this one, we're looking for 45 seconds. I know that sounded like that was gonna be easy, right? 5 seconds. We need 45 seconds. We're gonna start in 10. Pro tips when performing a sumo squat. When performing a sumo squat, you want to make sure that you're getting your thighs parallel to the floor and keeping your feet wide. If you have your feet really close for a sumo squat, you're going to look like this. See how my heels come up from the floor? And it puts a lot of pressure and stress on my knees. So your pro tip for this movement is to keep those feet wide apart and make sure as you're going down into that plie or that sumo squat that you are pushing from your heels, and I want you to squeeze every muscle fiber you have as you come up tall. We need 5 more seconds. And break. Next coming up is our skis. So go ahead and give yourself space on the floor. We're gonna start in 10 seconds for this one. Your pro tip when performing skis, don't lose your posture. When it comes to doing skis, you are leaning over a lot. So if you struggle with a sensitive, weak back, what I want you to do, instead of being here, I want you to focus on just reaching to the floor. Notice I just lean forward, keeping my shoulders rolled back, instead of bringing my back or my shoulders and chest lower to the floor. That's gonna make it easier if you're a beginner out there, or if you just suffer with a sensitive and weak back. Let's keep this exercise going for 15 more seconds. And break. So congratulations for finishing circuit number 2. We have circuit number 1 or circuit number 3 coming up, so don't run anywhere. Go ahead and get a sip of water, stretch for a second. Again, turn the music up a little bit louder as we try to conquer, or not as we try, as we conquer this final and last round. So let's start. We're going to start with squats. With this exercise, we're going to go add some changes or advancements in the midst of the squat, but we're going to talk about our basic fundamentals. Everything you need to know about performing a squat. First thing is foot placement. Make sure your feet are hip distance. Second thing you want to focus on is body awareness. You want to make sure you're transferring your body weight back to your heels and pushing your hips to that imaginary chair or that imaginary wall. At this point, you want to make sure that you have your spine or your back where it needs to be. You don't want to round and tuck your hips under. That's stress on the back. We want to bring our shoulders back and pushing our hips back, a little bit of a pop at the hips, so we're arching that lower half, bringing our thighs parallel to the floor, and we want to push away from the floor. As we come up, again, squeeze every single muscle fiber in those legs, the thighs, the hips, the glutes. Keep the core engaged and repeat for X amount of reps. And that's everything you need to know to dominate your squats. Now, let's get ready to work. We're looking for 45 seconds, starting in 5. And go. This round or this video with our squats, this time we're going to come all the way down and halfway out of our squats, going back down to our squat position. This is going to just challenge us as we've been doing squats for the last few weeks. And break. So we use time under tension in that exercise. We stayed a little longer in those squats, which is great for helping you to increase your muscle mass. So let's go into our next exercise. Our next exercise are bicep curls. We will be in a split stance. So basically, we're just spreading our feet like so. Everything you need to know about performing bicep curls. When performing a bicep curl, it's all about keeping your elbows tucked in by your side, keeping your chest and shoulders back, and focusing on the contraction of that bicep muscle right through here as you come to the top. Now, as you come to the top, you don't want to come up and sacrifice your elbow position. So as you come up or as you bend and flex, squeeze elbows in, make that bicep muscle work, extend all the way down, not halfway, and come back up and repeat. That's everything you need to know about a bicep curl. Now let's go into our exercise. With our exercise, I do want you to have your right leg back, left leg in front, slightly bend that front leg, and start your movement in 3. Go. and break. So now that the arms are warmed up and the biceps are warmed up, we're gonna jump into our next exercise, which is shoulder press. So we're going from the biceps to the shoulders or to the deltoids. These are great exercise movements to help you get that beautiful cap look that makes people say, do you work out? So let's talk about this exercise. Everything you need to know about how to perform a shoulder press. Shoulder press requires shoulder mobility. So if you struggle with tightness in your shoulders, make sure you stretch out good before you do this exercise. So we want to start with our feet shoulder distance. Weights are up by your shoulders. From here, we want to focus on the press. The press is where we're extending our arms up and we're aiming to get our arms in line with our ears. Now, at the top, don't extend all the way out. Keep a slight bend, tuck those elbows back down, and restart for your next rep. As your feet are shoulder distance, make sure you don't leave out your hips and your midsection. So I am going to slightly focus on squeezing my booty muscles. I am going to focus on squeezing my core because I have a lot of weight that I'm lifting right now, and you don't want to stress the back out. So that's everything you need to know about a shoulder press. Now our time starts. We're looking for 45 seconds in 5. Go. And break. Good job on that. You should have felt your shoulders in that exercise if you're doing the movement correctly. Remember, we have 2 rounds to master this exercise. So we're going from there back to the top. So this is a time where you can take a 30-second break, get resituated, and let's get ready to dominate this last round. Let's get ready to work. So we're going to start with our first exercise, which is our squats. Remember, we're coming all the way down and then halfway out of that squat. Ready? Let's get it. Pro tips when performing squats. A great fundamental exercise to help you build a foundation for advanced exercises and also help you build a better lower half or a stronger lower body. When it comes to doing squats, we always talk about our foot position, but I want to talk about more about body awareness for your upper body. If you focus on pushing your chest out, did you know you will probably really correct your form just like that? So instead of squatting with a poor posture, just push your chest out. Notice as you push your chest out, what happens? That lower tailbone pops back and those shoulders roll back as well. So if you feel like squats are just too much to handle, it's too many do this, do that, and don't do this, just focus on pushing that chest back and you'll notice some improvement. We're looking for 10 more seconds. And break. Good job. Let's get ready to go into our second exercise, which is bicep curls. So performing bicep curls, we want to make sure, again, our elbows are glued by our side. I'm going to sound like a parrot because I want you to get this exercise correct. So go ahead and start with your left leg in front, elbows in, and curl. pro tips when performing bicep curls. Body awareness is important in every exercise you do, and especially bicep curls. So bicep curls are great for building the bicep, right? But we want to think about how can we get the most results from this exercise when we're doing it correctly. When you do a bicep curl, I want you to focus on the squeeze. So if you're new to doing this exercise, go grab a towel real quick, a face towel, grab a tennis ball, something kind of squishy that you can put between your elbow and your side. Now that you have that place between your elbow and your side, I want you to squeeze in. What do you feel firing? You should feel your shoulders. You should also feel your biceps. This is an isometric hold. This is where we hold a position for a period of time. Squeeze in, and I want you to keep that block or that ball there or towel during the whole duration of your reps and times. You'll notice that you're more aware of keeping your elbows in. And don't forget to extend at the bottom. No choppy exercises, and that's your pro tip. Now we have 5 more seconds of this bicep curl movement. Really make them strong and make them good. And break. Now we have shoulder press coming up. So we're going to build the shoulders once again. Go ahead and get your foot placement. We're going to start in 5. Pro tips when performing a shoulder press. One pro tip that I want you to make sure that you do right now is to not use jerky movements or don't yank. When it comes to your shoulder joint is such a movable joint. We can move it back, we can go forward, we can go in and out. You can go at an angle, right? So we want to keep that joint protected by building our muscles, and that's why we lift weights. But when you're doing movements overhead, be aware of jerky or snatching movements. And what I mean is you're lifting and you're like this. You want to keep it controlled. The more you control your workouts, the better results you get, I promise. Let's keep this exercise going for 10 seconds. And break. So high five, fist pump. You made it through the full workout for volume number 9. So I want you to ask yourself, did you give 100% today? If you feel like you didn't give 100%, I'm proud that you gave something. It's about showing up. Sometimes it's not about how much that you do each day. Sometimes it's just about doing the action and creating the habit. So let's cool down and let's stretch out. When it comes to our cool down, we want to focus on static movements. That means we're going to hold the position for about 15 seconds. We're going to start in 5 seconds with our first exercise, which is a tricep stretch. You're taking your left arm up and over and bringing it in with your right. Everything you need to know about a tricep stretch, you want to make sure that you feel the stretch in your shoulders and tricep right along here. Bring your left hand out, bring it across your chest. Keep that arm straight as you can. If you're super tight in your shoulders, you might need to bend a little bit. Get that other arm, grab underneath, pull at that elbow. Try to pull that arm, which is this one here, as straight as you possibly can. Now, breathe. Relax those shoulders. Notice how much your shoulders drop. And you're going to switch to the other side. That's everything you need to know about a tricep stretch. Now let's repeat this on the other side. And rest. Let's go into our second stretch, one of my favorites. This is a great one for your inner thighs and your hamstrings and your back too. Everything you need to know about a straddle stretch. First and foremost, you need to bring those feet out wide. You're not going to hit a split, I promise you, but you do want to have those feet wide as if you're about to do one. So from there, we're going to move at the hips, give you a side angle. We're moving at the hips, pushing the hips back, rounding our back there, right? Keeping these legs nice and straight, and we're reaching our palms to the floor. If you're super stiff and you're like, girl, I can't go that far, bring your hands to your knees and just over time progress to getting lower. And that's going to happen with more consistency with your mobility training. And that's everything you need to know about a straddle stretch. Let's continue to hold this for a few more seconds. And break. Last stretch we have is lateral lunges. So we're not going to do an exercise with this one like we did in our first circuit, but we are going to just stretch. So we're going to shift to one hip and then shift to the other. Everything you need to know about a lateral lunge. You see my feet are already in action. My feet are wide for this exercise or for this stretch. We want to shift to one side, bringing our hands to our thigh, making sure we're shifting our hips back, and we're keeping this foot flat as possible. We're not on our toes. We're on our heel, and we're pushing into that hip. Hold this for a few seconds, and like I always say, what you do to one, you do to the other. And that's everything you need to know. Now let's shift to the opposite leg and hold. And break. So good job on crushing today's workout. Tomorrow or your next session with me, make sure you show up for yourself. It's not about showing up for me, show up for yourself. Now, if you're in the process of training with us with FitSlay and you're starting to see results, maybe it's not within your scale. Maybe it's how your clothes feel, clothes fit how you feel. Maybe you're getting some compliments. We want to hear that. So you can either email us, give us a shout out, because we want to really celebrate your progress because we're in the game with you. So if you can email us at jess@fitslay.com. If you have any questions, concerns, make sure you reach out. And remember, check-ins are at the 1st and the 15th of each month, right? This is the time where we want to see and hold you accountable for the results that you need to get from this program. So we'll see you on the next workout. Bye.